Hi, it's Jordan1, and in this video I'll be showing you how to add the button closure to your pencil case or sunglasses case that you made in the previous video. So if you haven't done that yet, please go back to the first video and learn how to make the main section, and then in this video you can learn how to finish it off. To make the flap, you're going to need 80 white rubber bands, 11 green and 11 yellow, 10 blue and 10 orange, and then 9 purple and 9 red. The first step for adding the flap to use the button closure method is to take 10 of your center color, so I have white, and I'm going to chain an additional 10 bands starting on the back side here. You have to determine which you want to be the back side, and I'm working from the inside out, so I'm just going through this top center band here. I have my 10 white, and I'm just going to chain up here. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. For this next row, I'll be doing green, and I have 11 bands for that. And you can see that I've turned this sideways just so I can fit this on the camera better. So we have our chain of 10, and I'm going to now add a green band to that. And then I'm going to make a slip knot, so one end pulls through the other. And then I'm just going to work my way back here doing 1 band in each of the chains. So I'm not counting the end one, and I am going through from the front to the back, just like we did for that very first row we did when we made the initial chain. So I'm just pulling through, pulling the one end through the other two, doing that same single crochet. Just make sure that you're always going in through the front and that you're always getting through both of those loops of the chain. So you should have 10 bands that are going to work their way down each of the chain stitches, and then there should be one left over that we're going to connect the to the base or the other larger piece here. So it looks like I have 2 left for the chain. Sorry if my fingers are in the way here. I feel like it's getting to be kind of tight space. This is my last one for the chain. And then I have this one more that I'm going to connect to the base. So I want to go inside here from the inside out, and I'm going to go through where the green row is. Pulling that band through, back on my hook, and then one slides through the other two. So now you can see here how it's connected at the base. For my next row, I have 10 white, and you can see I'm still down here at the base, and I'm going to connect it to the main section here. So I'm going to go through the white row here. So it's a little bit sandwiched in between here, but if you stretch out the blue and the green, you'll see the white. So again, from the inside out, I'm going to put my hook through the white row, and then I'm just going to pull this through. I need to make that slip stitch so you don't see the green. Get the other end back on and pull one end through the other. And now I'm going to flip this around. I know it's kind of cumbersome when you have this whole piece attached. And now you can see the part we want to go through is right here, this side. And as I'm holding it like this, that's facing away from me. So we're going to need to go in through the back. So you're just going to go to this next green stitch. You're going from back to front. We're just doing regular single crochet in each of the stitches. And actually you'll notice when you get near the end that this is going to be one short from the very last stitch. And that's because we wanted to make that V shape, so it's going to have to gradually get shorter. And of course, if you wanted to make a flap that didn't have a V shape, if you wanted it to be straight across, all you would have to do is just always go to the very end and fill every stitch. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. It just depends on the look that you're trying to achieve. So you can see I have 2 rubber bands left and I have 3 stitches. So your last band isn't going to reach the end. Oops, I just lost it there. And then you're going to flip this around again. Next I have 10 blue rubber bands, and the way that this is going to angle, it's going to face towards me, so I want to go in through the front, and I am going to go through this end stitch where my band is through for the first. So from front to back, and I'm going to make this slip stitch. Just going to do that single crochet, 1 in each. So when we get to the bottom, there should be 1 band left that we're going to put in the main section. So this is my last chain part, and then this last one is going to connect to the base here. Again, you're going from the inside out. And then you'll need to flip this around again. For this next part, I have 9 white bands, and I do want to attach it to the base for the first rubber band. So again, from the inside out here, you have to find that white row. It's a little bit squished. Going to do my slip stitch. And then I'm going to work my way up here, and this time it's going to be back to front since we're alternating every time with the flipping and all. And again, we're going to shorten this. So you're going to have 1 stitch left over that doesn't get a band. And then you're going to flip it again. I have 9 purple for the next row, and I'm going in from front to back. I am going to go in this very end stitch where my band is through. And I'll do my slip stitch. And I'm just working from front to back with one in each. So this is my last one in the chain, and then at the very bottom here we're going through the purple row from the inside out. And then one last time we're flipping it for this half. For this last row you're going to need 14 white rubber bands, and you're going to again connect it to the base first. So again, from the inside out you want to go through the white row, do your slip stitch, whoops, and now we're going from back to front. So I'm going to this next stitch up, and we're doing one in each. And then the reason that we have 14 for this end is because we're going to follow this white all the way up to the very top. Just to make this finished edge look. So we have two more purple here, or I'm going through two more purple, I should say. And now I want to go through the white that's above that. You'll see we had a slip stitch here, so it sort of pokes out a little bit. So you're just jumping to the white here, go through that, and then next you have a blue. And then above that you have a white. And then above that you have a green. And now you can see here it's sort of like two green because the one white is through already on the green from this other previous row. So I am going to actually go through this first green, because if I stretch it all the way up to this top green, I think it's going to pull to one side. So I'm going to go through this green that another white row was already through. And then I have one green left at the very top. And then I'm going to take a clip for now and just put this on so I can take it off of my hook. And then you can see here how it makes a nice finished edge. So I think it's looking pretty nice and smooth. And then we're going to have to repeat this with the other half. So I'm just going to turn this back around. So this is over to the right, and then we'll do the other half of the flap. So for the other half, starting from the center chain, I'm going to be doing 11 yellow rubber bands, And you do want to start at the tip here at the very end because we want the loose end to end up here when we're done. So I'm going to just twist this towards me. So you see the side we need to be going in is facing away from us. So you're going to start from back to front, and we're just going through this white chain. So make sure you're getting through both loops. So you're going to start with a slip knot, and then we're doing one in each. So again, we're going to have one left over that's going to connect to the base. It's going to go through that yellow row. So that was my last one in the chain, and now again I'm always working from the inside out. Going through the yellow row here at the bottom, and then I'm going to flip this around. For the next row I have 10 white, and I am going to flip this, but first before I do that I want to put this base band in here. So I'm moving over to the white. It's going from the inside out, and I'm going to do that slip stitch. And now I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to be working from front to back. So this time I'm going to have the one stitch left over again because we're going to shorten this side. So I have my last two bands. And we have this one yellow that's left over. And I'm going to flip it again. I have 10 orange for the next row. I'm going in from back to front, and I am going through this first stitch that my band is already through. So I have my slip stitch, and then one for each. So we're definitely getting there. It's almost complete. So this is my last one going down, and then I have that one more going from the inside out here, connecting it to the main piece. And then I'm flipping it around. And let me just turn my hook, untwist that first. Now I have 9 white that are going to go on this next row. So first I'm going through the base. You have to find that white row. It's a little squished, going from the inside out. So I'm going to do that slip stitch. And I'm working from the front to the back. So you can see I have these 2 bands left and 3 stitches, so we're leaving that last stitch empty. And then I'm turning it again. The next row has 9 red bands, and I'm working from back to front, and I am going through the end stitch here, doing the slip stitch. So this is my last 2 for the side. And then I'm connecting it from inside out to the base. And then I'm going to flip it around again. And now finally I have 14 white rubber bands. I'm going to finish this up here. So I do need to go through the white row, the very end here, from the inside out, doing this slip stitch. And then I'm working from the front to back. I'm going to go up the whole way to the tip. And then after that, it's just a matter of attaching the button, and we're done. So now we've made it through all the red, and so the next one is going to be through the white. So jump up to the white here, and then next we have an orange, and then above that another white, And then finally, I have 2 yellow that I'm going to go through. The first one is going to be the one that the white is already through here. And then the last is the top yellow stitch. So now you can see we've made it to the top, but we still have to just finish it off by getting these two together. I'm going to take 2 additional white bands, and I'm going to take my hook and go through this very top chain here, the white, doing a single crochet. And then I'm going to go back through that same chain at the top, and I'm going to take the other band that my clip is around, get that on my hook and release that clip. I'm going to pull it through the chain so I have the 2 loops on my hook, and then I'm also going to go down and just pick up another band that's down a little bit lower. So I'm just going to go through this green one on the back here. I'm going to take my last band and just go through all 3 and make a nice tight slip knot. It's going to just hold it all together. And then I'm going to need to hide this. So again, you're just going to go down through some of the bands on the back. Go through some of these green ones. I don't want it to show through to the front, so I'm just going to be careful about that. And I can just pull this white down. And if you feel like it needs to go underneath some other ones because it's longer, you can just work its way down here until it's basically hidden. And now you can see what it looks like on the outside. So here we've made our nice flap. So now the last thing we're going to need to do is add the button. So now I'm ready to add my button. And you can see I've already put a band through it. I've just used a twisty tie to help me get that band through both sides. I have 2 holes on mine. And when choosing your button, you just need to make sure that it's not too tiny, that it's just going to easily slip through that hole and open when you don't want it to. But on the reverse side, you don't want it to be too large so that you're having to stretch these bands really far apart, because they will get stretched out and weaken over time. So for this one, it's a little bit bigger than 1/2 inch. And then for my other one here, this one's about 3/4 of an inch, which is maybe a little bit on the large side. So what I'm going to do is, where the flap closes, just see where it wants to rest so that it's not pulled too far down and not too far up. So just gently let it sit against where you think it should close. And then I would say you would probably want the button to be either attached around this 2nd hole or possibly the 3rd hole. So I'll measure here where the 3rd hole is. So right around here is where I want my button. So what I'm going to do is make sure I see where that spot is, leave my thumb there. I'm going to go from the inside out, take one side of the button, one side of the band, pull that through, and then leave it on my hook and come up through the next hole. Grab the other side of the band and pull through to the back. So I have my 2 loops on my hook there. I'm going to take an additional band and I'm going to make a nice tight slip knot so it doesn't come apart. And then you probably want to hide this, even though you don't have to do it for visual reasons. As you're putting things in and out, you don't want it to get caught on that loop. So I would just recommend going through some of these bands on the inside. So I'm just going to go through this row of yellow here. Go through a bunch of those. And then I'm just going to pull this loop through to hide it. And then you shouldn't see it on the outside. And so now I've attached the button. And then just to do it, of course, you would just stretch this out a little bit. And then stick it through the hole. And then you're done. I hope that everyone loves their new pouches with a button closure. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!